on the RCA Bluebird label. This is the Goose Girl. From 1969.
Long ago, in a faraway land, a beautiful princess was promised in marriage to the son of a neighboring king. She had not met the prince before, but was told he was very handsome and kind. All the same, it made her feel unhappy to think that she would have to leave the castle that had been her home for so long. The queen spent her time spinning and sewing gowns the princess would wear in her new life, and at the very time the princess came to say goodbye, her mother pricked herself with the needle, and 3 drops of blood fell upon her handkerchief. The queen told the princess to carry the handkerchief with her, and no harm would ever come. So the princess kept it with her, and joined by her maid, went off to the kingdom of her future husband. Along the way the sun shone brightly, and the princess felt quite thirsty, so she asked the maid to fetch some water from the brook close by. "I won't," said the maid, sounding very rude. The princess said nothing, but fetched the water for herself. They rode on without talking, but the handkerchief whispered, "If your mother knew, it would break her heart." Later the princess again asked for water to slake her thirst, but the maid gave her a short answer. "Get it yourself. I'm not going to be your maid any more." Once more the princess drew the water for herself without answering. The handkerchief said, "If your mother knew, it would break her heart." The princess began to cry and dropped the handkerchief into the brook, and it was carried away. The maid knew the handkerchief could no longer protect the princess, so she made the princess exchange her beautiful clothes for the maid's. The wicked maid even took the princess's beloved horse Falada, saying, "Now everyone will think I am the princess, and the prince will surely marry me. If you don't promise to let them believe I am the princess, I will kill you now." The princess became so frightened of this wicked maid that she tearfully promised never to tell. So they rode on to the palace, where the maid was received as the princess, and the princess as the maid. It was the king who first noticed her standing in the yard alone and sad. So he called and asked if she would serve to help mind the geese with the lad Curdchen. So she stayed on as the Goose Girl, spending her days with Curdchen. The wicked maid was fearful that the horse Falada might tell the king of her cruelty and deception, so she had him killed. But when the poor princess heard what had happened, she asked that Falada's head be mounted over the gate. Every day, as she went out, she would ask, "Do you know who I am, Falada?" And the head would answer, "You are the princess. If your mother knew, it would break her heart." When the princess was out with Curdchen one day, minding the geese, she sat combing out her beautiful hair. Curdchen wished to have a lock, but the princess refused, and he angrily went to the king and said she was a witch, telling him about the talking head of Falada. The king did not know what to make of it all, and sent for his Goose Girl. He saw her grace and beauty, and asked, "Who are you really?" The princess explained she had promised never to tell on pain of death. "I am king here, and in all the land no one dare harm you. I am your protector. Now speak." So the princess told of all that had happened. The king called for royal robes to be brought at once, and the prince married her that very day. Everyone was happy and rejoiced at the wedding, except the wicked maid. She was beaten soundly and banished from the land.